Hi there guys, James from the Mad Tin Hatter here again. I had done a video earlier on today of my armour in my collection. So I've moved on to the artillery in my collection, as it more or less takes the table to itself as well. So again, I'll just kind of sweep through what all the units are and why I have the various stuff here, and future plans as well. So I'll start in the middle here with the cornerstone of British and Canadian artillery in the Normandy campaign, which is the trusty 25-pounder field gun. As you can see, I have 12 of these. They should all be the same unit, which should be the 128th Highland Field Regiment Royal Artillery, which was one of the field artillery regiments of 51st Highland Division. I say should be because while I've been sorting them out, I've discovered a couple of errors with the decaling. I think what's happened is because some of the units I'm doing I don't actually have decals for, I've meant to overpaint some, but I think I've got confused as to which ones I've overpainted and which ones I shouldn't have. So some corrections there to be made by myself. What I've done is, although I'm currently playing more 4th edition Flames of War and Battle Group to a certain extent, these units were built under 3rd edition, so I've actually laid them out as per the 3rd edition order of battle. But obviously not all these are now relevant, which is just one of these things when you're wargaming, unfortunately. They're still painted, they're still in my collection, the whole shebang together still looks quite cool, so I'm not too bothered about it. The reason I've ended up with 12 of them is that I had the original 4, which are these ones back here. My missus was buying me a birthday present, so I asked for the box set, the resin box set, and it came with these. As you can see, they've got the resin bases on them. Now, I wasn't keen on the resin bases, so I bought the individual guns and picked up some crew figures and managed to do these, but then I kind of felt, well, I had the resin stuff, so I may as well do it. So one way or another I ended up with 12 of them. So I've got the HQ element for the first 8 guns. You can see the truck at the back there. I tried to do something different with each of the trucks. So this particular one's got a couple of guys who've just been out, and one of them's got a chicken. See if I can focus. One of them's got a chicken and one of them's got a barrel of what I'm sure is Calvados, which has been kindly donated to them by the locals, no doubt. Truck over here, I've got a survey team. The one at the back, it's an infantry patrol going past, or maybe some gunners going out to take care of a sniper. The one back here, I've got some German prisoners being escorted past. And then the one at the back, it's a couple of guys standing around drinking some tea. So yeah, I've got the command elements for each of them. So that's 8 guns with the command staff team and stuff. Sorry, sugary camera again. I've got another 4 guns, again with the command element here. And they've got their transports. Now, I do have the transports for these 8, but painting trucks is just one of these things that takes me a little bit of motivation, so I've not got round to them yet. So that's the 25-pounders. Now, I recently read a fantastic book on Operation Epsom, and I was telling the guys on the painting chats about this. I think I've told a few people because I think it's a really cool story. But at the end of Operation Epsom, and 15th Scottish Division is holding this Scottish corridor, and 9th SS Panzer Division's trying to launch a counter-attack to pinch off this intrusion into the German lines. So there's various attacks going backwards and forwards all day. The Scottish infantry units are getting whittled down, and they're basically only surviving through this concentrated Royal Artillery firepower that they have backing them up. And at one point, towards the end of the day, a Royal Artillery observer spots some German Panther tanks in a forest, basically massing for another attack. So he radios back to his battery and says, you know, fire mission in this location, enemy armour preparing to attack, thinking that all he's going to get is the 8 guns from his battery. So that would be these 8 guys here. When it gets back to the battery commander decides that that's a more priority target than 8 guns wants. So he puts it up to a mic target, and a mic target would be every 25 pounder in the division. So that's 72 guns. But when it gets up to the division artillery commander, he decides that actually this is bigger than a bigger risk than warrants a division. So he puts it up to a victor target, which is the army group artillery. So that's every artillery gun in the army group that's in range. So this fight's happening on the boundary of 2 army groups, so that the army group artillery commander on the other side thinks, I agree, this is a definite, high risk situation. So he calls in a victor target on the same spot of woods. So the end result is that the British Army unleashes on this one little spot of woods filled with German tanks and infantry over 350 25 pounders, 60 or so medium guns, so like the 5.5s, the 4.5s, and I think it was about 30 heavy guns, all at once. So if these things are firing about, I think the average was about 11 rounds a minute, that's just 5,000 or so rounds purely from the 25 pounders. I think it's 7,000 rounds from 300 and odd 25 pounders, 20 shells per gun, 2 minutes worth of fire, 7,000 rounds in 2 minutes. That's, how the British Army progressed in Normandy, because it could call down that sheer amount of firepower. Anyway, these are my gunners for my 51st Highland Division. They are backed up. The other Highland Division units I have here is my Royal Artillery Anti-Tank Regiment. This will be the 61st Anti-Tank Regiment Royal Artillery. So I have 4 17-pounders which are deployed, and then I also got Skytrex guns which are limbered. So I have the unit moving and the unit deployed, which I like the idea of. Really, really tempted to do that for my 6-pounders as well. Then I also have over here, again, missing their transport, but I do have the models, I've just not painted them yet. But this is a battery from the 40th Light Anti-Aircraft Regiment Royal Artillery, and again these are 51st Highland Division divisional troops. In front of these guys I've got my corps level support. So these are for the 79th Medium Regiment Royal Artillery. Now the 79th Medium Regiment is actually a Scottish regiment as well. It's the Scottish Horse. So that was one of the reasons I picked that unit. They were part of FoW Agra, which is Army Group Royal Artillery. And these were kind of almost like an artillery brigade, an independent artillery brigade. But they were divvied out wherever on the battlefield they were most needed. So this FoW Agra during Operation Totalize was supporting 2nd Canadian Corps. So again, I've got the command elements down here for them. Rather than a truck, I've used a kind of fancy large staff car, and there's just a officer standing there with a sentry probably. I've used the resin base for the command team for these guys, as I thought they deserved something a little bit flasher. 4 guns with their truck. In this case, I've got, what are they doing? I think one of them's carrying supplies, and the other guy's just pointing, telling them where to go. And then the other 2 guys here are carrying supplies as well. They're old Battlefront figures, I think Pioneers or something. And then again, I've just got the OP teams and stuff. And again, it was built as a 3rd edition formation, but I'll be using it probably for 4th as well. And over here I've got the Matadors, the trucks to tow these guns. I do try and have everything complete whenever I can, because I'm a muppet more than anything else, but I do like the fact that my entire army is mechanised. I think it really reflects a key part of the British Army in Normandy, that there was such a high level of mechanisation. So that's my medium guns, my 5.5s. And then over here we have my small, currently Polish contingent. And these are 4 sextons, and they will be part of the 1st Polish Mechanised Artillery Regiment, which was the mechanised self-propelled artillery guns that supported the 1st Polish Armoured Division. So I've got a Sherman OP tank here with a chap sticking out with some binoculars, not taking any risks whatsoever, these brave Poles. I've got again the command team here. Now for battle group, one of the things that you can have is a dispatch rider. So I've kind of set this up so that there's a little dispatch rider there. He's kind of spare, but I can use him for battle group as well, and obviously the jeep and stuff. The truck for this one, the chap's changing a tyre, so all that German mortaring and artillery fire has obviously, the shrapnel's pierced the tyre, so it's getting replaced. And on the other side there, truck for this command section, these guys are taking cover behind a truck, possibly from sniper or mortar fire, or maybe they're just hiding from the guy changing the tyre because they don't want to be involved. Over here in the middle we've got a couple of kind of unusual units. One's a radio truck. This is a QRF model, and along with it I've got some Plastic Soldier Company Metal Artillery Command, and this has just been basically a radio relay truck, again useful for battle group. In my big Noyers battle I did at the club recently, I did a big scenario, and the radio truck came on as a reinforcement, and it basically gave some bonuses to the FoWs calling in artillery fire and stuff in Flames of War. So it just goes to show this type of stuff, you can use it in Flames, you just need to be a bit creative. And behind that I've got an Oster artillery spotting plane. I'm not entirely sure which unit that would belong to be honest. It's something I need to do a little bit more digging on. I know that they were kind of core level assets, so I would maybe need to do a bit of digging, but never used it in the table yet. I'm sure I'll find a use at some point. So again, what I'll do is I'll do a horrible stand up, and not a horrible stand up, I'll stop and start again. I'll do a stand up and let you see the whole shebang from a distance. Right, so as I said, here's the whole lot. That's my entire artillery park as it currently stands. It's obviously not including mortars and things like that, which are infantry assets, which I'll do in my infantry list. So there is absolutely no chance whatsoever that I would ever need a game where I put this amount of artillery on the table. I would have to be playing in a gym hall or something like that. It is just really me being a total, a total freak when it comes to wanting to have complete units, and wanting as well for my project, my Total Eyes project, I want to represent all of the units that took part. So the guns are there for 4 Agra. I've got the various Highland Division units and stuff. Said I've got trucks and things still to do for the guns and for the anti-aircraft guns. I could be tempted to get some more sextons at some point in the future. Certainly I don't have any Canadian artillery units represented here, which is something I would like to do. I'm a big fan of the Guns of War book by, I think it's George Blackburn, so I'd like to do something for his unit. And I've got my anti-tank guns at the back there, which are divisional assets but are Royal Artillery as well. There we go, sorry about that. So these are another view of the 17 pounders that I was talking about. So I've modelled these being towed, modelled some Skytreks. Really tempted to do my 6 pounders like this as well. I think it'd be quite cool to have them being towed properly rather than having the deployed unit set up behind the gun. So I'm going to investigate whether that's an option from Skytreks or not as well. And my Polish sextons and the rest of the artillery park, I think is the only way to describe it. That's it for now. So next up I'm going to lay out the infantry. Hopefully I'll still have time while it's daylight. This is taking far longer than I thought it would. Catch you later. Thanks for watching.